Doctors try to prescribe the best possible treatment to fight cancer, but that treatment may not be entirely covered by your health insurance, leaving you with a hefty bill and often a difficult decision of how to pay for it. Most states have passed laws requiring insurance companies to cover treatments, but not Michigan. Why? TV5 investigates.
Tomorrow I end up having an MRI.
Two newly formed friends brought together by one devastating diagnosis.
I've been fighting ovarian cancer stage 4 for 6 years now.
I've done 22 years of ovarian cancer.
But both aren't fighting their cancer the same way.
I'm not a patient that can take oral chemo anymore. I've done it twice.
When we first introduced you to 60-year-old Jody Schnetzler more than a year ago, she was told oral chemotherapy was the best option to target her specific cancer. But it came with a hefty price tag out of her own pocket.
I was then billed $5,300 a month.
The astronomical cost because her health insurance provider classifies oral chemo as a prescription drug. The FDA has approved more than 50 oral anti-cancer medications, but it isn't a covered treatment performed by a doctor at the hospital or a clinic, like the intravenous chemo she's now receiving.
Mentally, I feel fine, but physically, I'm very tired.
Feeling tired, just one of the many side effects of her intravenous chemo. Side effects Dina McDade
This is a lifesaver here.
no longer has to endure.
I can live a normal life. My kids don't even know I'm sick.
43-year-old McDade has battled ovarian cancer since her first diagnosis 22 years ago. She's done intravenous chemo in the past, losing her hair, bedridden for days at a time, but the cancer has always come back.
A year and a half ago, it came back again.
But this time, a genetic mutation made her a candidate for oral chemotherapy. And she says she's very fortunate because her health insurance is providing coverage for the treatment.
It's $14,300 for these 2 bottles of pills? I couldn't believe it.
But this isn't the norm, leading legislators in 43 states other than Michigan to enact a law that requires health insurance providers to cover anti-cancer medications, no matter if they're administered orally or intravenously.
This is the first year where it got pretty much full support in the Senate.
State Representative Dare Rendon is a cancer survivor. She introduced a bill last year to prohibit insurance providers from imposing higher costs for oral chemo treatments. The bill never made it to a vote in the state house after opponents brought forth concerns.
Some of the organizations who provide health insurance feel that it might impact the cost of health insurance that they offer.
But Representative Rendon says there's little to no evidence that insurance premiums have gone up in states that have enacted these laws.
I think in one state it made a difference of as much as $10 a month on the cost of their policy.
Rendon says she's taking her fight back to lawmakers, planning to introduce another supported bill next month.
It virtually accomplishes the same thing, only you can do it in your own home. At your own time. You don't have to leave, and if you're already quite sick, sometimes that really makes a difference.
A difference these two friends
That's all right. Yeah.
both know firsthand.
You know, if Jody if it would have worked for her like it's working for me, she would have had $5,000 out of pocket for the rest of her life.
And listen to this, oral chemotherapies make up about 10% of available chemotherapies right now. 25% of new medications that are being developed to fight cancer are oral chemotherapies.